Hello, everyone. Very, very good evening to all of you. Hello there, Frozen Frosty, Dheeraj, Ivana, Fedi, Rishikesh. Nice to see all of you and happy to share with you that all the setups for the conference is going fantastically well. And today we are going to be having the final session before we all finally meet at the E-MUN conference tomorrow. So, over the 2 days, yes, brother, I've had too much of coffee, Fedi now. And if I consume any more, I will essentially probably have a cardiac problem. So, I cannot consume any more coffee or any caffeine as much as I want to. But with your support, I will make it through this session, Fedi. Very kind of you. Nonetheless, today's session is all about doubt solving. We read about the different points of the rules of procedure over the last 2 days, correct? And over the last 2 days, many of you, many of you had a lot of questions in the chat box. So now, in a very organized fashion, I want you to feel free to ask me questions in the chat box and I will answer them all. Remember, the rule to this is that if you asked a question and paste it in the chat box more than once, I will ignore that question. So please ask the question just once and wait for it to be answered. As I read it, I will attend to all of them. Sounds good? Good or no? Good like my hairstyle or not? Yes, finally we have Rishikesh Rahul, who's asked us what will happen when we censure a delegate. So, censuring a delegate is basically when a delegate misbehaves in the committee, disrupts the usual flow of the committee, and spoils the discussions that we are working towards in the committee. When a delegate does something like this, you can open a motion to censure this delegate. Remember, unlike all the other motions, this motion will be based on how much of a problem that person has created in the conference. So, if committee session and if it is a heinous crime, then they can even be suspended for the whole conference at large as well. Hope this answers your question, my good friend Rishikesh Rahul. Fedi asks, what do we have to say in introductory speech or general speakers list in superhero conclave? Let me be honest with you. I am more of an international relations person and my knowledge is limited when it comes to Marvel versus DC. So what I would suggest you, Fedi, when it comes to a committee specific question, a topic or agenda specific question, please redirect that question to the WhatsApp group that you are part of and request the chair to address that concern. That is what I would share with you, Fedi, in response to this question. Good, but not like your hairstyle. Okay, fine, man. I will change it for next year's conference. The final conclusion of the program is what Janki Jaydev asks us. The final conclusion of the program is a resolution where, after discussing for 1.5 days, we want to come up with creative, unique ideas of yours to look at these problems from different perspective and different way of solving. This is what the final conclusion is, apart from the fact of your own learning and development in terms of your communication, public speaking, leadership skills, diplomacy, negotiation skills, holistic growth. That is what the end conclusion should be. Where you have grown, you've given ideas, and of course, made a lot of friends and built a good, healthy, and strong community of students in our beautiful district of Kottayam. This is what the final conclusion of the program should be. Next question is from Raina Ajmal. She asks, could you explain raising point of information and point of order? So, in the conference, the chairperson will make a very standard dialogue throughout called any points or motions on the floor. At this time, you can raise a motion or you can raise a point. Point of information is basically pointing out any factual inaccuracy where somebody has given false information or wrong information to the committee about their country to protect themselves. It's like Russia saying, we have not sent any troops to Ukraine. It's like North Korea saying, we don't have nuclear bombs, which is completely false. So, when this happens, a statement like that is made by another delegate, you can raise your placard, Raina, and you can say the term point of information. Remember, in point of information, it is compulsory for you, for you to prove that information through credible sources. These credible sources include news agencies, media houses, and so on. Instagram, WhatsApp forwards are not considered credible sources of information in this case. You have to prove it. You cannot just accuse. Point of order is something I don't want you to use too much in the conference, to be honest, because this basically highlights that somebody has used the wrong rules of procedure in the conference. Most of us are coming here for the first time. Most of us are participating in MUN for the first time. Our goal in this MUN conference is not to get into the deep technicalities of procedure as much as to use it to enhance our discussions and debates in the committee. However, if you do raise a point of order, it is so that you point out that inaccuracy of a procedure another delegate has used. So if somebody's used the wrong rules of procedure, you use the point of order. Nikita is drinking coffee and I'm just jealous. Is this video freezing? No, it's not freezing at this second. The thing looks fine over here. Mia asks me, what is the conference kit? The conference kit is your delegate kit. This kit will be waiting for you in your committee room, in your classroom of your topic. It comprises of a file, a folder, rather a folder, a notepad, pen, a badge, and also a placard which highlights which country you are in. This conference kit is for you to keep for the conference and even after that for memories. You will receive it on Friday morning. It will be ready for you when you enter your committee in the morning. That is what a conference kit is. Missy City asks, what will we do on day 1, day 2, and day 3? Missy City, we will do the E-MUN conference on day 1, day 2, and day 3. I have shared a final conference itinerary with your school. Please have a look of that. It mentions everything in detail on minute to minute basis what is basically going to be happening. Adip Manoj asks, can you explain paper submission? Paper submission, can you explain what you mean by paper submission? Do you mean working paper? Please clarify. I will revisit this question when I see your response in the chat box. Advait's Fun Lab sounds fun. Ask me, can you explain what is authors and signatories mentioned in resolution and rules of procedure? Fantastic question. Authors are the people who write the resolution, who write or type. You can type the resolution. No need to write exam paper. Type it on Microsoft Word or Google Docs. Authors are the people who type or write that resolution. They generally support that resolution. That is why they have written it. Signatories, on the other hand, are the people or the delegates who may or may not agree with the resolution but are willing to discuss it, maybe amend it, and probably even vote upon it. Signatories basically mean, okay, this resolution is coming to committee, let's see what it is. It does not mean that you're for, against, or, neutral to what the resolution is, but it means what you want to do with that resolution. You support the discussion of that resolution. That is what a signatory essentially is. Author person writes it, generally supports it. Signatory says, okay, this resolution has come. Let's analyze it and let's see what it is. Mom and Me Bombs. You all have such cool names, man. Can I read and speak? Yes. Mom and Me Bombs. Sounds like an Eminem rap. You can read and speak. It's not an exam. I've told you this in the orientation. Look at your notes, look at Google, look at the internet, look at the study guide, look at your Google Docs, look at whatever you want. But just speak and speak your mind openly as though you are talking to your best friend at large and sharing your opinions on whether, Barbie was a better movie than Oppenheimer or not. So just share your thoughts and look at your notes, look at the research, whatever you like. There's no problem. Serene Babu Philip asks, what is a position paper? There is no position paper in this conference, so you need to worry about that. As we grow into the culture of MUN over the years, these rules of procedure will be continuously transformed, including things like position paper and a number of other debate tools. First step, we need to understand the basics. Then we will make things more interesting so that when you come back next year, there will be a lot more that, ways of you discussing and debating. What are the necessary papers needed? I'm not understanding this paper question, Miami or Miami, however you like to say it. Chavra Public School, Pala, nice to see the entire delegation. And please give my regards to Mr. Tom as well. About position papers, there is no compulsion of position papers in the conference. Don't get into that right now. Glitchy girl. Glitchy girl. Interesting use. I'm enjoying your usernames, I must say. So Glitchy girl asked me, is there any format for introductory speeches? If there is, could say. There's no format as such, but basically your introductory speech should give, you could say, one, your stance on the agenda. You for a topic or against a topic. You can take a few relevant examples, preferably which concern your country, and share your thoughts in a nutshell on how you would like to solve it. This is what is how this is how you go about an introductory speech. Little teacher, crazy man. Little teacher, do we want to say introductory speech in every session? No, you don't need to say the introductory speech in every session. That's called your general speakers list. It's continuously open, but like I said, every maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so, the chairperson will make a statement of any points or motions on the floor, and you can accordingly raise a motion and take the discussions forward apart from introductory speeches. That generally happens. Introductory speech happens in the start, so you realize who your friends and enemies are, who you need to convince and who you don't need to convince. Once you get an understanding of that through the introductory speeches, you won't really go back to introductory speeches. You'll go into the more in-depth discussions with your blocks and teams. What Rishikesh Rahul asks, what is the maximum number of unmoderated caucus we can have in a row? I think the maximum number of unmoderated caucus you can have in a row ideally is one only, can be extended by a few minutes too, as per the chair's discretion. However, if it's genuinely required, then you can have another moderated, unmoderated caucus as well. Sometimes it happens when there's a detailed resolution, so there's no like minimum maximum, but ideally one should be absolutely fine. Maybe two when it comes to the resolution, but that's about it. Frosty. I remember a French toast. Now there is a Frosty, and I've lost the chat somewhere. One second. Just a second. I saw French toast. Frosty, how are points calculated for the best delegate? You get points on your innovativeness, creativity, communication, writing of your working papers, resolutions, involvement in committee, diplomacy, leadership, how you behave as a leader in committee, what information you share, and how you manage to be diplomatic, negotiate, and make the best use of your thoughts and ideas is how points are calculated for the best delegate. Frosty. Frozen Frosty, my bad. Shrikant's vlog. Must check out this page as well. Sir, can you please tell me whether a photographer want to select a country or authority will give? The authority will give you a committee that you will cover the entire media aspect of. Please share this message with your respective chairperson. She will guide you and help you, and you can put this on your WhatsApp group. Joseph Johnson ask, is Wi-Fi available to search up info? So Wi-Fi I do believe is there in school. I don't think any school does not have Wi-Fi. But my concern, to be honest, Joseph, as a friend, and in a more logical, realistic way speaking, when you have 350 delegates in a conference and everybody's trying to, join the Wi-Fi, I don't see it having a great positive impact in your research. So what I would suggest is use the hotspot from your mobile phones. Maybe you can get like a 24 unlimited data geo package or something like that. I think it costs 40-50 rupees for the day, or 30 rupees or something like that. So that would be a good idea. So that's, but Wi-Fi is there, but I can't guarantee how, it's a school, not an IT firm, right? So how productive, efficient, connective it will be is something I can't really claim, because even I'm not from IT. Nikita is here now. It's good to have you here now. Nikita is here now. Journalists write articles during committee sessions in the committees they are allocated in. They will keep their eyes and ears open on what is happening, and how we read in the breaking news in the newspapers or headlines. We will create the articles based on what is happening in the committee and how delegates are discussing. Rohina Santosh, my topic is related to inequality. World is like that. So I doubt that can we have question other countries delegates that what measures are they taking to reduce social exclusion. Yes, you can surely bring up this question in form of a moderated caucus. You can bring up this question in form of a question answer session as well. So this is a great point you have only given me, and you should discuss these things, that everybody complains about inequality, but what is happening about it. Mia David asks, can you explain further, about working papers? Again, I shall explain. Working papers are the solutions to the subtopics you have discussed in moderated caucus. Your agenda is like your textbook. You have multiple chapters in a textbook. You have multiple subtopics in an agenda. All the chapters in your textbook, make your full syllabus, all the moderated caucus and so working papers, make your resolution. So what you need to do in a working paper is really simple. Right after discussing the moderated caucus subtopic you've discussed, write the name of the committee, followed by the name of the agenda, followed by the subtopic that is being addressed, and then simply write point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, and so on and so forth. That's about it. Miami, again, is Wi-Fi available, and are we allowed to research during the ongoing debate? Wi-Fi is available. How fast it will work and how well it will connect, I can't give you any comment on that because of so many students. Suggestion is to use your mobile hotspot. Yes, you are allowed to research during ongoing debate as well. Hello, sir. I just joined. Could someone tell me what I missed? Jay, to be honest, everybody was complaining about my hairstyle. So that's probably more or less what you missed. But apart from that, they're also asking me some relevant questions, which you may feel free to ask me after if you have gone through the procedure as well. Nikita is here now. Nikita is always here now. Says, do journalists have to say the speech? Journalists won't give a speech. They will give an interview. You will interview our delegates where you can list down after hearing in your committee what is happening. You can ask questions to the delegates. You can ask questions to the chairpersons about what their viewpoints and all that and make an article out of it. French Toast decided she doesn't want to talk to me today, so she retracted her message. Vani Ram says our working papers 217865 Santosh Kumar M. Let me know if that's your debit card pin. I will try it. My topic is World Health Organization. What should I say for the introduction speech? Mentioned this before. 217865 Santosh. Introductory speech is a general, short input of yours and your country's stance, whether you're for a topic or against a topic in the conference to identify who all are your team members and who all are your enemies. So based on your country, you need to maintain a stand. Keep a copy of the introductory speech when we say that. So Amina, here's the thing. We don't want you to read out a piece of paper in the conference, right? You can make points. You can even write down the whole thing and just recite it like an elocution. What we want you to do is not mug up a speech, but just share your thoughts in words that you are comfortable with. That's about it. So you can keep a copy of your introductory speech, doesn't really matter. But like I said, you should not just look in a paper and speak. You should speak to the committee and communicate the points in the best way possible. That's about it. Glitchy girls on a roll. Can we record someone during the session? I think that is concerning the media house committee, so I would not suggest that you sit and record. Leave it to the media house people. But you can make notes or mental notes on what that person has said accordingly. Shruti Srikant asks, what does the photographer need to do? This question, once again, you must redirect to your chairperson, Miduna. She is very helpful. She will give you exact roles and responsibilities for your committees during the conference. Miami. What are the necessary things to be brought by us? So, the necessary things to be brought by you include a creative mind, a confident ability to speak, and an open mind. Everything else will be provided to you at the conference. Dheeraj, I've already answered this question, so I will not repeat it. Saranya, I have already answered this question. I will not repeat it. Hievana asks, what exactly do we need to know about the country? Like, do we need to know only about how a country handles a topic or anything else? You should research not only on your country, but even other countries, your friends, your enemies. In fact, research more on your enemies, in my opinion. So you have a complete purview of how the committee is placed. French toast, each person gets their own conference kit. Yes, French toast, each person gets their own conference kit. And I will also get one French toast of my own as well, hopefully someday soon. Everdentious, could you give me some examples of credible sources? Routers, Times of India, BBC, CNN, Al Jazeera, CNBC, TV18, all media houses, all agencies and media houses are considered credible sources of information. Yes, Josephina, the introductory speech will indeed be on Friday. Meghna, can we do research while at the venue hotel? Yes, you can do research anytime you feel like. The more you do, the better it is. The more ammunition you have. Look at it that way. Do the delegates openly have a discussion during? Yes, the delegates do openly have a discussion during an unmoderated caucus. Adip Manoj, explain working paper submission. You've written the working paper in unmoderated caucus. You take that working paper and put it to the chairperson. Then you can raise a motion to discuss it in moderated caucus or challenge or any such thing. Or alternatively, you can directly put it to vote choices of the committee. Based on majority, they will either discuss it or they will vote for it. If they vote for it, then if it passes with simple majority, it's passed, else it fails. Rishikesh Rahul, can the author be a debater or presenter? Yes, absolutely. We expect authors to be debaters and presenters because they have created the resolutions. You can type out, Vani, the resolution and working paper. No need to kind of what you say, write down in detail all these different things. Use the technology that we've been given. Tino Tommy, how do you respectfully object to points made? In one word to answer a question, diplomatically. That is how you can essentially go about it. Maximum number of authors, I don't think there is like a maximum number of authors. Uh, can be as many as you want, there's no problem. I feel the more the merrier because that makes it consensual. Salma Rehman, I would like to know a little bit about sub agendas we'll be working on during moderated caucus. Do we have to make them or something else? Yes, you need to study your agenda, your country's involvement, and list down, like I've been saying, anywhere between 5 to 7 subtopics or sub agendas you think would be good to discuss in the committee. Fedi99 says, rate my name out of 10. Fedi 9.9. I will rate it 9.9 because it's Fedi 99. Vaibhav says, Oppenheimer's way better, no doubt. Yes, I think so too because, that has a really nice storyline. Not that I'm against Barbie, but, I'm a guy, so maybe that's why. Dheeraj, what will happen if the resolution does not get passed? The resolution will fail. Will there be no solution made then? No. If the resolution fails, and how can you then you have to start all the way from scratch? And that will happen in E-MUN 2024. Shruti, second time you asked me, this question needs to be redirected to the chairperson of your committee. Z or Z, however you like it, American or British. Is there a different type of DR for UNSC committee? No. All draft resolutions formats are the same. Freddy, are you Ryan Gosling? No, I am younger than him and better looking. I hope so. I'd like to believe, which might be sadly untrue. Shruti again has asked me, what does the photographer do? Shruti really hates me because she asked me the same question 5 times. Shruti, trust me, you speak on your group to the media house chair. Media house is a very different committee. Your allocated committees, your chairperson is more of a practical committee on the days as such. So I would suggest you speak to your chairperson on this and get yourself allocated. Timber likes my jokes. Yes, soon I will open a stand-up comedy channel. Please follow it. Joking, that's a joke. I'll get banned from YouTube if something like that happens. Nandakishore, I have answered this question if you scroll back as well about the introductory speech. Nanna, Nona, Nona, Nanna. Right to reply. It's not actually part of the procedure, but maybe if somebody has made a comment in yield to comments, or maybe somebody's taken like a jab at your country, you know, by singling them out, then you can request a chairperson for a right to reply and give your response to the chairperson. Chavra Public School, Pala, once again, I've shared about opening speech and this thing multiple times. You can scroll back and you can read it once again. One minute. Sir, my name is Rohini. One minute, I've lost a chat. Oh my god. One minute. Yes, I found it back. Rohina asks us, how can we use debate tools in working paper? Because last session you said that we can use few tools like moderated caucus and joint statement even in working paper, but how? Very, very nice question, my friend Rohina. All of the tools of debates are nothing like motion, are nothing but motions. You can open a motion to open a moderated caucus to discuss working paper one. Total time in 5 minutes, time per speaker 1 minute. This is an in-depth discussion on a subtopic solution. That's why you can use moderated caucus. You can even open a challenge where you can challenge another delegate, maybe the author or maybe the person who's opposing it mainly, as a motion to challenge a delegate of so and so over working paper one. You can even open a question answer session, maybe with the authors or people who have voted upon it, and have an open question answer session on this working paper saying why is this working paper like this. You can even have a one for one against and two versus two against if you feel like as well, because this too is a motion. Countries that are supporting the working paper can issue a joint statement together as well. This way you can discuss your moderated caucus a little bit more in detail. Soccer maniac, nice one. How many subtopics can we discuss in a moderated caucus? One moderated caucus will focus at on one time in only one subtopic. You can have multiple moderated caucuses, each discussing a different subtopic, but one moderated caucus will focus only on one subtopic. You cannot involve multiple. Athena, yes, you can keep a copy of the introductory speech, but like I said, don't read out from a piece of paper. Voice your opinions in your own words. No one is asking you to be William Shakespeare. Okay, be yourself and speak in the words a teenager like you and I would speak in. There's no problem, but that is always better than just getting something written from home on a piece of paper and reading it out as a formality. Web of Quotian. In Media House, can we choose a committee of our preference? Yes, once again, ask your chairperson. Your chairperson will be making the allotments to you on the days of the committee sessions. In your first committee session, you will be allocated your committees. In case you'd want to give a suggestion, please share it with your chairperson on the group. This is a committee specific question. Raindo says, what should ECOSOC people wear? The same thing as everybody else. Western formals day one, traditionals day two, Western formals day three. 9.9. Can we get a copy of the rules of procedure during the. Yes, Atiya. Atiya Kazia asks, shall we keep a copy of rules of procedure with us during discussion in case we need it? Of course. No one is explaining you these rules of procedure to write an 80 mark paper on it. It's for you to understand it and use it. You can have it in front of your eyes anytime. There's no problem. There's no this thing. You must. In fact, I strongly recommend you to. Fedi asks, will you be wearing mund? Fedi, I really want to wear a moon, brother. But the thing is now that I've had like a really long day. I came to Kochi this morning from Bombay and left at 3 in the morning. I reached Kochi at 7 in the morning and I came here to Kottayam by around 9:30, and then I went to school to set everything up. Then I just came back, returned a few calls of some wonderful teachers who had some queries, and now I'm doing this session. So I'm trying to think uh, not about the moon as much as when I will, catch some sleep as such. Do we need any devices for tomorrow, Athias? Yeah, carry your mobiles tomorrow. I think the mobiles will be good enough, because we have this beautiful photo booth. Just to let you all know, Athia, that we have a lovely photo booth that's been kind of created for all of you. So when all of you come in and do your registrations at the counter at at the foyer, then we will escort you to the the photo booth behind which we've created for you, and maybe you and all your friends and your entire school delegation along with your teacher can take a nice couple of snaps. You can have it on your phone as well, and you know put it down memory lane. So yes, carry your mobile phone uh, at the conference as well. Chavra Public School, sir, if we don't have hotspot, how do we search then? All phones actually have hotspot, to be honest, sir. But like I said, if you're going to be using the hotspot to search just on the Google and text-based research and not YouTube and media-based research, then I don't feel you should have any problem with the data, limits as such, because text is generally very light. Um, Also, everyone's friends out here, so I'm sure that if somebody is really facing trouble with hotspot, we're going to kind of help them out as well, because like we're nice people. So in case you come across certain students who are facing difficulty with hotspot, please be cool and help those people who might need it. You can even take my phone if you like. Tino Tommy, the final recap of the ROE from the before the committee meetings is not required. Tino, I think you're taking that ROP way too seriously. ROP is just to help you discuss and debate. It's not a rule where we're going to put a gun to your head, right? So just take a copy with you and just share your points and use it where applicable. You only thing you need to do is you need to just understand what the ROP is. And naturally, when you're in the conference, it will all kind of come to you as such. Nand Kishore R. We don't need to have any introductory speeches for the first day. Tomorrow's the day where we dress up, take some snaps at the photo booth, make some friends, maybe have like some juice we've got for you or something, and enjoy the entire program. I saw the rehearsals today. It's a lot of fun. There's some beautiful singers, things which are fun, things which are interesting, things which are energizing, and things which are intellectual as well. So it'll be a good time tomorrow. But tomorrow's the day when you sit back and enjoy the program and you enjoy the entire show. And then the Kishore, Friday and Saturday is the day when you become the show. When you start speaking not only in introductory speech, but every other facet of the conference. Renuka says if nobody agrees on the resolution, the time of the session is over. No, we will not be extending it. That resolution does not pass in that committee. Advait's Fun Club or Fun Lab. Can you explain resolution and how to make it? Resolution is a compilation of your working papers. Okay. Working papers discuss each subtopic. You once you complete all the subtopics or as many subtopics, you put them all together. That becomes a resolution. There are two parts to a resolution. Your preambulatory clauses, which basically identifies what the problem is that everybody has shared in committee, and actionable clauses, which are basically what you are going to be doing about these different problems. The preambulatory clauses come from the information you have heard and shared during your moderated caucus discussions, and the actionable clauses come from the working paper of that moderated caucus topic. Joanna, no, we don't want any parents attending any of these sessions. It's a student conference. It's for all of you. We don't, the less adults, the better, because we want you to be amongst your own generation. All are nice people from nice schools, and there, the team is there, so you'll be well taken care of if that's what you're worried about. But no, your parents do not need to attend any of the sessions as such. In case your parent is coming for the opening ceremony as such, then maybe they could stay back for some time, but seats will be available on a first come first basis only, and priority will be given to the delegates of the conference. Noel, I've already explained what a conference kit is. If you scroll back some time back, you will find it. Jay is like, your hair doesn't look too bad. Thank you for the motivation, my friend. Stella Binny, what materials you have to bring and be ready with? The study guide we've given you, a copy of the rules of procedure, and the research you have done on the topic regarding your country, and maybe 5 or 7 different subtopics or moderated caucus topics that you think should be discussed in the committee. French toast net's not feeling very good today. French toast, maybe you could feed it some French toast, or maybe restart the internet, or it's pretty cloudy, and you could say thunder showery outside around this area in Kottayam district. So maybe the net is feeling a little under the weather. You could say, if you get the joke, little under the weather, so it's little down. But yes, that's something beyond my control. Try switching to hotspot in case you're on Wi-Fi, or vice versa in case you are on hotspot and then going to Wi-Fi. Okay, your name is Rohini. Accepted. Soccer maniac. Introductory speech will be said primarily on day 2, not so much on day 3. Stella Binny says the video keeps getting frozen. Sorry about that. I believe the internet connection is slightly low where I am today. So maybe that is why. But please, this session is being recorded. You can watch it again anytime and rewind, fast forward, increase or reduce the speed at your convenience as well. Vani Ram asked me a very nice question. In your opinion, is using the full 90 seconds required for GSL, or is yielding time sometime a better idea? I would say use 70 seconds and yield at 20 seconds, so you can just get the ability to yield. I mean, you don't have to give the whole history, geography, biodata in that 90 seconds and shove in all the information out there. Plenty of opportunities to speak throughout the committee. So, accordingly, you can plan out how do you like to do it. Jay, I've already shared about the opening ceremony. So I about the opening speech, so I will not repeat that again. Joanna Uman, in the rules, it's given as Hindi is allowed. That's a mistake from my end. It's English and Malayalam that is allowed. So you can use both of these languages, Joanna. Don't worry about it. Do we need to prepare anything for tomorrow? The Melis asks. Yes, you need to prepare yourself to make friends, to socialize, to connect, to bond, to enjoy a program, and motivate yourself to healthy discussions for tomorrow. That's about it. Joanna asks again, can we read from the paper and speak? Yes, you can read from the paper and speak. We encourage you to do that. But when I say read from a paper, don't read it like a textbook, like word to word and things like that. Keep maybe cue cards or head points and use your time to, elaborate or elucidate on what you're trying to say. Janaki asks, what does a block mean? A block is basically a team, which is either for or against a topic. Little teacher, Do everyone need to write working paper on resolution, and what when we get time for it? Yes, everybody can make a working paper on resolution. There's no restriction there. But think about it. If everybody makes their own working paper on resolution, then nobody will vote for each other, right? Getting what I'm saying? So try to make your working papers and resolutions more inclusive. So everybody does not make a separate one and the committee does not fail. Take into consensus, take into consideration, and then do your this thing. You get time for writing this working paper and resolution in the unmoderated caucus. Sir, I would like to know how whether we should make a swing points or just some points and present them. Make some points and present them impromptu, Salma. Try it out. Try it out. Let your thoughts flow. Let your natural communication ability take over. Don't think that I have to say this word to word or I have to buy half this and say it. Be creative and put yourself on a spontaneous mode. It's good always. AJ Vlogs, the chairpersons will be found on your group and will be introduced you tomorrow in your committee sessions. How can I come to know of my colleagues? What do you like to know, farming tool? Havana. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. It reminds me of that song Havana, if you would have heard it, by Camellia. If you would have heard it, it's maybe year, 2 year old song, a pretty popular song. But Havana, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right now. Yes, bring your smartphones tomorrow, please do, without a doubt. Philip asks, are there working paper authors too? Yes, of course, you need authors for working paper because who's going to draft it otherwise? Vaibhav, can the author be on both sides of a presentation and Q&A for resolution? Yes, you can take your own individual stance. There's no problem Vaibhav at all. You can do this. It's a smart move. That's a very diplomatic move, I'd say. Glitchy girl, what happens if we are given time to say about something but don't know what to say? If it's general speakers, just yield your time. If it's a motion of moderated caucus, don't raise your placard to speak or don't vote for it. Clauses are basically points. It's just Ryan, just a fancy word for point one, point two, point three. Resolution is just called clauses. That's about it. Yes, Miss ECD, you are right. You have to prepare for GSL, multiple types of motions like moderated caucus and working paper. Don't prepare in advance. Working paper, go there and prepare after sharing what you wanted to speak and after hearing what other people in committee also want to share with you as well. P5 countries, Rishikesh will not have veto power. Will not have veto power. Again, I lost the chat while scrolling. No problems. 1 minute, I've come ahead again. Sorry, guys. Yes, I've found it again. Glitchy call is done. Missy study is done. Rishikesh asks, one of my fellow delegation members asked you this. There is no veto, like I said. Dilna Maria, sir, for Marvel versus DC, what should we know about the character? Everything, as much as possible. Information is knowledge. Knowledge is power. Power is what gets you votes. French toast, sir, is this gender inequality to Barbie? Yes, that's a good joke, but I will not choose to respond to this question because it's baseless in terms of the procedure. Meron, please redirect your question about superhero conclave to your chairperson on the WhatsApp group. Pronunciation of my username is Mia /me. Okay, Mia /me. This is how I will address you going forward. Z, sorry about copy pasting my question multiple times. I told you in the start, I know this YouTube live, the messages take a delay sometimes. Rishikesh Rahul, will we have a pre-planned seating arrangement that we can change seating? Yes, you can change your seating. It will be pre-planned, but you can change. Normally, people do that. People go and sit down with their blocks or teams, so you can for sure do that. BGKC, again about superhero conclave. When you research there, redirect this question to your chairperson in superhero conclave. Meron loves my jokes. I like the jokes when you came to present this year's MUN in BMM. You know, when you make statements like that, people actually think that I don't actually have any knowledge on international relations. But I'm glad that you like my jokes. I'll probably see a few of them tomorrow when we meet again. Shruti has got sentimental. Let's call her sentimental Shruti Srikanth. I am sorry, she says. I think your chat is slow and so you must have read it 10 times now. I was spamming you as you were not replying. Thank you for spamming me, by the way. I appreciate it. Even though I mentioned, please don't do that so that the messages don't come slow. But nonetheless, now that we are on the same page, no problem. Saranya, I have answered this question. Nikita is here now, is here asking, does a journalist hold a press conference? Yes. Yes, you get help from your chairpersons to conduct this as well. Salma, even though the research material of yours has different sub agendas, you should make some more apart from those because those are any which way is going to be discussed in the committee. Shruti Srikant is in love with me, BTW, just by the way. Okay, FYI. Rishikesh Rahul, can we use our entire 5 minutes during presidential statement? Yes, you can. You're the president, my friend. You can use your entire 5 minutes, but be prepared for negative marking if it's not valuable information and be prepared to answer questions as well. Saranya, you need to find the subtopics yourself. We are not going to give you. You need to research based on your agenda. Vani Ram, I do not know any other language other than English. If a delegate chooses to speak in another language, will there be any way for me to understand them? Yes, my friends, there will be the chairperson or the organizing committee member that will translate it for you in case you don't understand it. So please need not worry about that. Shobha Thomas, should we bring any special presentation or documents on the first day? No, first day is all about meeting and greeting and, getting the vibe right. So carry, I think, anything apart from your smartphone on the first day. Dilna Maria, you should know as much about your Marvel or DC character. Mia David, I have already emphasized on opening ceremony, sorry, introductory speech or general speakers this multiple times. Please review and maybe rewind a bit and you'll be able to find it. Ananthan, there is nothing like position papers in this year's conference, so need not worry about it too much. Sir, when you came for the last E-MUN, you looked amazing, more handsome than Hrithik Roshan. Thanks, man. I know I look ugly now. Timber, punk. Joanna, do we need to reply to the yield to comment once they comment? Joanna, no, it's a comment where you just observe what they have to say about it. But like I said, if somebody kind of nudges, you can maybe request a chairperson or appeal to the chairperson to reply. Rohini, Rohina, you can prepare a presidential speech in case you need it later, but how will you know whether you need it or not, right? So I would not suggest you come with a preset mindset of making a presidential speech. Shrikant's vlog is welcoming me to Kottayam. Yes, thank you so much. I love Kerala, to be honest with you. Been here since 2015. Been to around 70, 80 cities. Been to around 15, 20 countries doing MUN. But, I really like the vibe here, the weather here. And maybe that's why they call it God's own country, right? But and not just Kottayam. I've been to Kochi and to many other places as well. So I do enjoy my time here always, and I really get along with all the students and even faculty out here as well. Freddie, yes, it's mentioned. It will be called alphabetically. Josh. There are no position papers in this conference. Rishikesh's clothing is nothing. Yes, clothing is nothing. It's all materialistic. What matters is on the inside. He's referring to the brand label behind. Glitchy girl, do we need to be fully formal tomorrow or just wear pant and shirt? As formal as you can. Look good, look great, look like a delegate, look like a leader, behave like one and look like one. And there's a photo booth, glitchy girl, so I'm assuming you will. Sir, is there a ghost behind you? Actually, to be honest, only ghost I think right now is me because it's been, almost now 38 hours. I've been on a work binge, or you could say engagement binge. So I don't know if you can tell from my eyes, but there's no ghost. Probably it's just me, or it may be you, or your internet connection, or maybe a virus for all you know, Rindo. Sir, I'm coming all alone. None of the people from my school are coming. So if there is nothing important, do I have to come? Yes, Missy. It's very important for you to come tomorrow because tomorrow's the day we're all going to meet for the first time. You might be coming alone from your school, but remember, all the people in the committee are people you're going to be meeting for the first time tomorrow. So come, hang out, make friends, meet the people in your committee, and have a blast. Joanna Uman, if you want to send a message to the chairperson through a paper, do we need just hand it to them? How do we do it? Yes, if you want to hand out a message to the chairperson, you can write it on a piece of paper. You can tear out a scrap of your notepad, which you're providing you, maybe divide in a couple of chits and send those chits or messages to your chairperson. Dilna, tomorrow is not just only about fun. Yes, it's all about fun, but it's also about learning. It's also about culture. It's also about intellect. It's also about current affairs. It's also all about getting comfortable and E-MUN 2023. Rishikesh, I've answered this question. You can. King Donut the First. Wow, that's creative. Hello, sir. I don't own any traditional wear nor know how to wear it. Is it all right if I wear shirt, t-shirt, stashed pants? Try to avoid t-shirt. Try to be as formal as possible. Don't go out and buy things if you don't own any of it. And come in the most, closest way you can when it comes to dress code, but without going and, purchasing or even renting for that matter clothes at large. Would you treat us all to dinner after the third day, Glitchy Girl? That's a question I'm supposed to be asking you and not the other way around. So, would you be treating me to dinner after the third day? That's the question that I have for you. It's a counter question, it's a challenge. And attendance is mandatory tomorrow because, like Joseph Johnson has reiterated, we are going to be taking a tally of the delegates and attendees for tomorrow. So, attendance is compulsory. Otherwise, you will not be there, maybe in the marking sheet of your chairpersons. Rohina, can we wear shirt and pant or a completely formal dress for day one and day three? I don't believe in telling women how to dress, but both your answers are absolutely correct, and you can wear either one, if not both together. Joanne Thomas, don't need to worry about welcome speech. Jay, get in touch with your chairperson from your WhatsApp group. Miss ECD, have explained moderated caucus as well. Won't explain it again. Just a second. Again, I've lost a chat. Just a moment. So, sir, we can't communicate in Hindi, says Rohina. No, I think English and Malayalam are the two languages that we will recognize in this conference because I'm assuming all of us in Kerala do know our mother tongue and do speak our mother tongue as well. And I think Malayalam is a beautiful language. And, we should, there's a saying, if we don't know where we come from, we will never know where we're going. So, Malayalam, like, Tamil, for example, is one of the oldest languages in the world. And I think being a conference in a youth gathering of Kerala, why not have Malayalam there? Although I don't understand it, I'm still learning. Okay, to be honest, hopefully by next year, when you all become more pros at MUN, you all can probably take training sessions for me when it comes to learning Malayalam. Kiran Thomas, what is socials? Socials is basically you could say like a small party. So there's this lovely ground that we have been putting up some nice LED lights, getting like a DJ booth and hanging out and then having a good time as mature adults, of course. What must we see? No, I have already explained this once again. Introductory speech. Please scroll back. Ferry 99. Our group is hailing a German artist. That's pretty cool. Athia, yes, you can have the rules of procedure open at all times. You can have any document open at all times. You can have Google, study guides, your own research, whatever you like. It's a free world. That's why I've told you to carry your electronic equipment to the conference. It's Camila. Yes, Missy City. No, none taken, none taken. You could say, round about 38 to 40 hours of continuous interaction. So that's why I'm slurring a little bit now as well. Hence maybe the error in dialect or pronunciation. French toast. UNODC seems harder than I thought. There's nothing easy or hard in life. It's all perception. Your country is quite big, so do I have more chance of being targeted? Yes, anyone can be targeted anytime. Salma, yes, opening speech, introductory speech, GSL is compulsory. AJ Vlogs have answered your question. Man, every time I scroll, I lose the chat. Okay, I got it now. Merin Deepu, can you say one joke? One joke. I'm not able to think of it, but I will think of it and get back to you shortly. Can you explain crisis with an example of UNODC? Crisis of example of UNODC. Say, for example, Joanna, US Customs has sealed 2 trillion tons of illegal substance and which have come from Colombia, a rival gang, which is the product of a rival gang of Mexico. The Mexican gang took in firepower and got control of that 2-3 trillion tons of that substances. And now there is a fight between the gang war between Colombia and Mexico. US Customs is caught right in between because they have lost all the contraband. And Colombia is trying to regain control of their illicit substance market at heavy subsidized rates. Young people across South America are being, getting addicted to these things. Mexico, on the other hand, has received so much of contraband for free because they've stolen it from the US customs. The P4 countries have caught hold of the US customs, and the delegate of USA saying, how can you first catch and then lose it at the same time? And that is a very, very interesting crisis that can happen in the UNODC Joanna, involving a lot of different countries. In fact, this could probably be Narcos season 4, in my opinion. Farming tool. You need to get some CBS. I will. Don't worry. Sir, can I go early tomorrow, like after an hour or so? Sorry, Missy, you need to be there for the whole session, because like we don't want to miss you out there and we don't want you to miss out on anything out there. And there's some important announcements we're going to make about your committee in the opening ceremony towards the end. So please do ensure that you're part of the sessions. I think somebody is the delegate of Russia who wants to present the agenda cohesively. Please rephrase your question. What do you mean by cohesively? I find it ambiguous. When we present the Marvel character, what pronoun do we use? Personal pronoun. You are assuming yourself crisscross, cross Chris cross as that character. Rohina, if you don't know Malayalam but you know English, if a delegate has spoken in Malayalam, it will be translated in English for you. So need not worry. Yes, it's past 6:30. Let's wind up. Shruti, sorry. I thought I should be the one that is tired. I am taking the time and efforts to answer your questions, and you're like, making fun of me because I could not answer jokes to say some good jokes today. Miss ECD, yes, GSL is the introduction speech. King Donut the first, yes, you can wear a shirt on day 2, but try. Sir, does this device we can bring include laptop? Yes, bring your laptop. The guy below me is dumb. Yes, he stays on the second floor of this hotel. Sir, I still don't understand what delegates have to do in time of crisis. Okay, Rohina, crisis is a unforeseen circumstance. How you have an agenda, you're preparing on it, and researching on it, and getting information that you want to talk about. What is a crisis? A crisis is something that you know does not tell you before happening, right? Like a natural crisis, like the Nepal earthquakes that happened in 2007, or the Japan tsunami, man-made crisis like 2611 and 911. So crisis we don't know in advance, right? What's happening, and suddenly it occurs. So you'll be sitting in committee discussing the agenda you've been given, and suddenly the media house, will probably come in along with their chairperson and your chairperson and say, hey, you know what? That this crisis has happened. For example, the one I shared about the UNODC one as such. Salma, yes, make an introductory speech beforehand. In the sense, don't make it in detail, but you could say, write, a few bullet points and elaborate in your own words. Saranya, I am actually I speak English. Even my Hindi is really poor, but Malayalam I'm still learning. Maybe as we spend more time together over the years, you all can teach me a little bit more. Yes, you can make an introductory speech right on the spot. Absolutely, Salma. Spontaneity is a cool way to go as well. Fedi 99, no, there won't be dinner tomorrow. These are only for the outstation students who are coming all the way from Kochi and Thrissur to be with all of us here in Kottayam. Delegate representation, Missy Siddhi. Delegate representation means you are representing a country or character and you have one vote on all voting matters. You don't need to submit any papers in advance, it happens in the flow of committee. I know Sherry. I've learned this word Sherry because I've observed, in conversation, people subconsciously saying that to me, which I kind of, realized that it means okay, okay. So Sherry is one word that I know in Malayalam now. So that's that. So we'll conclude with a joke. Okay. Last joke of the day. Joke is when I was young, in my 8th standard, and it is a joke about the first time I got suspended from school. Please don't do something like this, otherwise I will get suspended from your school as well, and I will get really complaints from your parents and schools. So just take this in good humor. I really hated math. I don't know, do you all like math? I find it very complicated. Let me put it into perspective. If you take all the breakups of all my girlfriends and you put it on one side, and then you take, like, like a maths problems and put it on the other side, for some reason in life, maths was lots more painful to me. The problems there were a lot more painful than all my breakups, man. So one day I went to school, and I was in class, and I decided to ask my maths teacher, out of sheer frustration, because my equation was just not coming right. I said, "Ma'am, why did they invent calculators if they don't allow us to use it? Because what's the point of that invention?" And in environmental science, they also taught us to save paper, right? Because it comes from trees. And we kind of use a lot of paper in our rough work as well. So why did we invent a calculator when it does not only save time but also saves the environment? So my parents were called to principal's office saying that your son is very smart, and he's already ahead of the syllabus, so you can keep him home for 1 week. So 1 week I got grounded, and that's the joke was on me eventually. But any which ways, this was a joke. It's also a point if you go to see if it can be used in an MUN. Education system in India needs to be reformed. Yes, 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 and yes. And I think education, Shobha, should be reformed not only from a school, but also from a parent's perspective. You see, the problem is that maybe some of us, maybe a lot of us, are first generation learners, maybe, and our parents work really hard to give us the opportunities that we are having today. I mean, it's their hard work and efforts that you'll study in such amazing schools, and kind of they work day in day out to give you this education, and complete your school fees, send you for platforms like this, because they want you to learn, right? But what I feel is that education is, you could say, you know uh, in India, very technical, in the sense it's a very good foundation learning, but giving skill to the student is also part of education and should be incorporated in teaching as such. If you visualize it this way, the studies and syllabus that we study in our school, in any school, lays the foundation to build our future. It lays the foundation to build our future. How high we can make our building in life is based on the foundation of education we are given by our teachers and our schools. But to make that building big, to make that building big, you need to also have the relevant skills to make it big as well, right? It won't just build by itself. You have made the foundation. You have made the foundation through the learning of your subject. But the skills that you learn will only help you grow. That foundation you can only build using skills. So that's why I feel that if you only have a foundation and only textbook knowledge, it's of no use. And also, if you have only skills and no foundation knowledge taught by teachers, then also it's of no use. That is why education should be, given the best of both worlds, so that the exposures that we get is, yes, getting that 90% in an examination, but using that learning of that 90% in real world situation is a different thing altogether. So that's what I feel about the education space, as such. But yes, our generation is such, my vision is such of experiential learning, that we will grow out of this phase soon. NEP is there on this as well, vocational training, single board of education, a single central examination. So NEP is really good, but I'll tell you very honestly, NEP is very difficult as well to implement, because there are more than 100 streams, and how does a school really provide 100 streams, right? It's just not, sustainable for a school to do something like that. So as much as NEP is really good on paper, when you look at from a administrative thing, like the stress on your teachers and all, because they're human beings too, let's accept, it's not as easy to implement as it looks on paper. So a lot of, it's a very good visionary document, the NEP, but as visionary it is, it should be that practical to implement as well. And the only way that's going to happen in the future, I feel, is that when all of us schools, we put our hands together and say, you know what, I'm going to do ABC kind of streams, you do XYZ streams, and once our kids graduate from the 12th grade, then we can interchange them between the institutions to make it a more sustainable model and build a healthier education community across here. So that being said, the colors of my eyes are slowly transcending from white to red, and I must take some rest. So I am there tomorrow morning, up and about, setting up everything for you. And I'm looking forward to meeting all of you tomorrow at Excelsior for day one of what's probably going to be the most memorable event of your school life, is what I hope it will be. Bye bye, and see you tomorrow.